Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Like wearing your cleanest dirty shirt. It's the Audience of One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you tend to get your podcast from. On today's show, we discuss the difficulties of smuggling food over the border, lying about your kid's age to get a discount, and the turmoil of working a full 40-hour week. I am Andrew, maestro of the run sheet, next to the man who has multiple wings named after him at ACU. It's Dick. I like nuclear reactors. Schisler.
Yeah.
Kaboom. Schisler kaboom.
Boom. Kaboom. You doing all right, my man?
Man, I'm struggling. I really am. I had a bout of allergies hit me a couple of days ago, and it has not relinquished its wrath upon my nasal cavities and my eyelids and everything else. I got the itchy eye, runny nose. Yesterday, working in the yard, it was just sneezing. So, pretty good chance I'm not going to make it through this episode without having to at some point.
Gross.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be. I'm going to look like Taylor Swift in some of those videos you see making the rounds on social where she's singing, out in front of tens of thousands of people and her nose starts to run. She kind of wipes her nose. And then, of course, they zoom. I know.
You got to do what you got to do.
I mean, the poor girl, but they zoom in on it and there's like a 3-inch string of snot hanging from her finger and she has to wipe it on her dress. Poor thing. Just leave her alone.
Hawk to it.
Yeah, a whole different type of hawk to it, that's for sure. So I apologize in advance, onesies, if I have a sneezing fit.
Fair enough.
How about yourself, man?
It's going good, dude. Going good.
Okay. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Too much bad stuff going on in the world. I need good, positive energy, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a positive guy. You know how it is.
Oh, gosh. Just a radiant ball of positivity you are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the last episode I tried to get you into politics to get you going, but not today. And
can't get me going, dude. Especially not with politics these days.
I want conspiracy theories every day. What's your favorite conspiracy theory ever?
Oh, my God. You're going to have to give me more time to prepare than off the cuff with that. First of all, I don't really believe in conspiracy theories for the most part. I think it's just more fun to believe in them, but I don't know that I really believe it. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I really like the Bigfoot conspiracy theory.
Oh, well, I didn't say Bigfoot because that's not a conspiracy.
Yeah,
no, he's real.
Oh, he's real?
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
That and the moon landing. I think the moon landing's a lot of fun too.
I love. You know what? I'm going to go and say that one because it is a lot of fun. People are like, look at the flag. It can't possibly be moving like that. There's no wind on the moon. Look at that reflection. That was the angle of the light that's coming from a studio, and that can't possibly be the sun. I love all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, especially like when you meet people in the wild that work for like NASA or work for any type of like astrology kind of thing.
Astrology.
What is it? What's it called?
I'm guessing you're attempting to say astrology.
Astrology,
guessing.
Yeah, or whatever.
Or astronomy.
Maybe
did we just make up a word?
I don't know.
Astronomy.
But
astrology.
When you run into those people in the wild, they're always like, "Oh, yeah, do you think it's fake?" And they're like, "Oh, just stop talking to me. I don't want to."
I did hear that back in the day, like Buzz Aldrin and some of those guys would actually have fist fights with people.
I believe it.
When people would say, it was faked, and he gets so pissed off about it.
I think it's pretty great. But the Bigfoot, the Bigfoot one I love is just if you just search Bigfoot, the amount of information on the internet about it. And it's almost like
all of it real, of course.
What's like the UFO abductees? Like there's so many stories on there. You can, they all talk about being abducted, and it's just like that's wild. Like that happened to you. I guess you gotta stick with it.
I mean, if it happened to me, I'm telling no one. Just saying.
I've actually met a couple people who look for Bigfoot. Like it's a thing they do.
They look for Bigfoot.
Yeah, like it's like they go on a vacation. And what are you doing? Oh, I'm looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'm not telling anybody because it doesn't matter if you know in your heart of hearts you saw something. People are just going to think you're crazy. So let's just keep it to yourself, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you were going to say you were going to do what?
Go ahead.
No, I was listening to you.
I was about to change the subject.
Oh, go.
I
change
was
it.
watching Back to the Future the other day.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies. It's like a tractor beam. When it comes on, I just kind of get locked in. Either I will watch, several minutes of it, or I'll watch it till the end. And I've seen that movie so many times. But it did get me thinking about being able to travel back in time. And wouldn't it be just so amazing to have the knowledge of today, of telecommunications and computers and things. But then on the other hand, I don't know how any of that crap works. So much like the Bigfoot theory, I would be telling people, oh man, there's this thing called a phone that you can talk to. What's a phone? Well, it's like this device and it hooks up to the internet. What's the internet?
I wouldn't tell anybody anything.
My point is, you have all this knowledge, but I'm so dumb, it wouldn't do me any good.
Yeah.
I would be describing something to an engineer, and he'd say, well, how do you make it? And I would have no clue. So really, it'd probably be more of a curse for me than anything. People just think I'm a madman.
Would you warn people about P. Diddy?
Right, first of all, who's P. Diddy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that'd be kind of funny when you're trying to tell people.
I don't think P. Diddy would be the first thing I would warn them about. Maybe Hitler. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Mussolini or Stalin. Some of those guys.
I think you won't be able to change any of that.
No, of course not. You're just the mad. First of all, anytime you start off a sentence by saying, "So I'm from the future," typically most people tune you out right after that.
I would make as much money as possible and just have.
Well, that's the thing. I would
most
love
fun
to
ever.
make money off of it. Like I said, invent the cell phone, invent the microwave, invent the internet. But I'm so dumb, I don't even know how to make those things. So that part wouldn't work.
Just
You'd have to gamble on games that you know the result of.
Invest in Apple,
Like they did
invest in Amazon.
Back to the Future. Yeah, I guess it depends on what time period you're in. Because if you go back to 1890, you're not going to invest in Apple.
That'd be the worst time to go.
You think?
Yeah, because
1890?
Yeah, because medically you could die from anything. You're just in trouble all the time.
Yeah. Well, especially the 1850s and 60s, when that Civil War time. Yeah, you don't want to go back to then. If you could time travel, what time period would you like to go back to?
Oh, I would definitely go back when I was born.
Okay. I would go back 15 minutes ago and start the show all over again.
Really? Oh, we can do that. Here's a button. Oh, good thing I didn't even hit record. No. But no, yeah, I think that's what I would do.
So the 1980s. What is your fascination? You just want to see 1-year-old Schisler? Is that what it is?
No, I think
Look at me, so much promise.
I know. I just know. That's the stuff I remember. So I know when things are going to be happening.
Okay.
And I have more knowledge of that time period than one that didn't exist.
So you're gonna do like a Biff Tannen thing and go back, see yourself, and set your future past self up for great success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be the richest 14-year-old.
Right. Buy some stock in this. Yeah, I get you. You have Schisler Towers and Biff Tanner.
Yeah, I'll run against Donald Trump, and I'll just sit there and talk smack the whole time.
Can't out-talk
Make
smack
funny
Trump, man.
Make fun political videos. Really test the court system what I'm allowed to say or not. Is that parody? You're kind of. You don't think that'd be great?
I think it'd be wonderful. I'm just watching you be amazed at this. Wow, the ideas running through your head at this exact moment. I don't know. I think I would like to go back to, maybe the 60s or 70s, the summer of love. Seeing all the hippies, that'd be kind of fun, I think. And then I'd tell them about a cell phone and the internet, and they go, wow, man, far out, dude.
Well, I guess it would be important to choose a time period where you didn't exist, because at
That's
one
key,
point,
because otherwise there's two of you running around.
well, not even that, but at one point you get noticed because there's two of you running around. But I mean,
this is basically the plot of Back to the Future.
yeah, that'd be a little dangerous, because if say you become a billionaire, you just have a different name, and then it's man, Richard, you look like that billionaire guy a little bit. It's a little uncanny how similar y'all look.
Yeah, could be a difference in age that would help, right?
And then my younger self would have an identity crisis. He'd be like, "Is this my real dad?"
I sure wish it is.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I got to thinking about this show and how we could make it a little bit more successful. I think you and I are really missing out on an important demo, and that would be the teenage demo, 14 to 18, 19, maybe even all the way up to 20.
Yeah.
Do you think we have any teenage listeners?
Well, I mean, I know I have a lot in common with 20-something.
The maturity level.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But I don't know. I think we need to think we actively need to target this audience. I think it's an untapped, like most politicians are doing. They're always trying to go after the young vote. I think we need to go after the young listener. After all, they've got headphones on at any one given moment.
Yeah, they do.
We could be piping in some good AOO for them.
Well, the scary thing is what people like that age watch.
Yeah, they watch some strange stuff.
If you watch you check out their YouTube history, it is bizarre what they find, and it's just like, and it's even worse than what you would imagine.
Okay,
it really
sounds
is.
like you have some experience in.
Well, yeah,
going through a teenager's history.
The YouTube content, it is.
Remind me to set my tab up to incognito, guys.
It is regulated, so they have to get creative. Like, you ever seen those princes videos?
Princes.
Like these guys, this crew dressed up as like Disney princesses, and they act out these things.
Nah, man.
And it's just like the most bizarre. Like, why are you watching this? Like, oh, I like Spider-Man. He's dressed like Spider-Man.
Gen Z and Alpha, I suppose now, even before them or after them, they'll watch anything as long as it's on YouTube. They're going to watch it. So that's what I'm saying. Since we are technically on YouTube.
Well, I miss my calling being a video game streamer. I think
the
stuff I watched, I was like, this is so stupid, but this guy's clearly making money.
I think we need to start saying things like 100, bro, 100. You know, instead of when you're sure about something, or check out my new kicks. We gotta tap into that market somehow.
But you know what I didn't tell you? You ever heard of Mr. Beast?
Of course.
So my buddies were on one of the game show videos.
Really? Did they get to meet Mr. Beast?
Yeah, they're twins.
Okay.
So they got invited.
That helps.
They went to a casting call thing, and then they got invited. I think it was like North Carolina, and they're like, yeah, it's just this huge thing.
Isn't he in some trouble now? I feel like.
Yeah, I think it was a safety thing. Like, because they set up these warehouses to play these games.
For the Squid Game thing that he did, right?
I don't really.
Is that what it was?
I think it's multiple things.
Well,
because people are just complaining.
He's also now has very deep pockets, so everybody's going to go after him.
But they said it was an interesting dynamic because there were around like 150 twins. So that was really weird. Like, they're having dinner with like 100 plus twins, and it's like
that is odd.
But yeah, I was when I saw the YouTube video of them, they lost like immediately. And what's funny is they were telling me how much one of them kept cursing, and I'm like, you guys, they're not going to put you in the video if you're sitting there dropping the F-bomb every so often.
It's the problem I have with you on this show.
Yeah, you guys be smart about it
all the time. There is nothing like a well-placed F-bomb, though. I will say that. That is one thing I wish I could do, even if we weren't over the air and could cuss. I don't know that I would a lot. But every now and again, as a point of emphasis, a nice F.
Isn't that like the
so
PG-13 thing? Like the movies that are rated PG-13 now get like one F-bomb.
Oh, I don't
like that.
You're only allowed one.
Well,
no, I mean, I don't know.
I really think so.
I think they probably get a certain amount. How many? I don't know, but that would make sense.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, and you're a movie director, you really got to plan out that F-bomb. Where do I want it? And you have the actor do different scenes, and you kind of watch which one you think is going to have the most effective F rating.
Or you could be like Back to the Future and have really creative writing where people did curse, but they didn't say like actual curse words.
Gosh darn it!
No, I think I think the doc says some crazy stuff.
The dog?
No, the doc.
Oh, the doc.
I think he said some funny things, but it's like he meant the F-bomb, but it was like
Great Scott!
Yeah. Man, that's heavy.
That's heavy.
Well, weight has nothing to do with it.
Why is everything in the future so heavy?
Yeah.
All right, man, let's go ahead and kick off the show. And how appropriate that our first story has to do with video games. A caffeinated ramen in a squeeze tube for one-handed slurping while video gaming is going viral. Have you seen this new food that is aimed at video game players?
Well, have you seen the video game food market?
Well, no, I haven't, but this is going to be right up there at the top. It says Boost Noodle, which, by the way, sounds a lot like Geeked Soda. Boost Noodle is a new kind of ramen for players who, quote, want to eat easily with one hand while playing games. What are you doing with your free hand? And, quote, also not get their expensive and yet important gaming equipment dirty, and they want something easier and closer to...
That's very true.
Yeah, they want this is pretty funny. They want to eat something closer to a meal rather than a jelly drink or beverage. What the hell is a jelly drink?
Probably like G Fuel. You ever seen that kind of stuff?
No, I'm asking. Is it like Jell-O that's kind of just maybe slightly
I know they
more...
make one that's like a Go-Gurt.
Sounds horrible.
You ever seen Go-Gurts?
Yes, I have. Okay, Here's my thing on Go-Gurts. I can't eat one in front of another person. It's first of all, it's very childish to eat yogurt out of a tube.
Yeah.
But it makes me and everyone else uncomfortable, I think, in my mind, to eat Go-Gurt in front of somebody.
Well, it's kind of funny looking back when you're younger, like what you're, like I remember Fruit
By the Foot.
Is it Fruit by the Foot? Mm-hmm. Like I remember those. Like my mom always bought those, but I hated them because they were so big. It's just like I don't want to keep eating this. Like maybe like a bite or two.
I need fruit by the inches.
Yeah. Well, because you ever seen those people just ball it up and just put it in their mouth?
The whole thing.
The whole thing. It's
Nasty,
like
no.
I gotta get rid of this. Yeah.
It says, resembling an astronaut meal, Boost Noodle is in a 16-millimeter spout pouch. That's hard to say. Spout pouch. That is easy to eat with one hand and contains shortcut noodles as well as roast pork and bamboo shoots intertwined, here it is again, with a jelly-like rich seafood and pork bone soup, allowing you to enjoy authentic ramen as is. But what they're bearing the lead here is it's caffeinated. They injected it with caffeine so you can stay up a little longer and play your World of Warcraft.
Well, the ultimate game food is like Hot Pockets and stuff like that.
Yeah, that always like burns your chin though. I guess this probably
Pizza
could
Pockets? Are they Pizza Bites?
Pizza Bites.
Yeah.
Anything.
That was like the go-to.
Gosh, I don't think I've ever had one and not scalded my mouth, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I'm so hungry if I'm to the point where I'm going to eat a Hot Pocket, I'm probably really, really hungry, and you're not waiting for that thing to cool off, man. Yeah. So anyways, this sounded like a food that you probably would enjoy. What other type of foods kind of can you think of that they put caffeine in? I honestly would say that ramen, to me, is probably at the top of that list. I don't know that I would have thought caffeinated ramen.
Well, it is kind of strange because the
it's
whole
so
gamer
funny.
idea is just that it's in a tube that you're just eating.
Yeah, the picture of it
So
is
why do
disgusting.
you need to have
I don't know if
caffeine
you
in
want to
it?
show the onesies. This is actually the thumbnail for this episode, this picture you're going to show here. But you can see it does resemble a Go-Gurt in a way. It's so nasty looking.
I like it. I'd eat
Bet
it.
I bet you would.
I'd probably eat like 10 of those.
Is it the pork bone or the shortcut noodles that's doing it for you?
Yeah.
Or is it the fact that you can have one hand free? They make sure to stress that.
I don't know. That's funny.
Oh, this is funny from USA Today. A woman loses over 700 pounds of bologna after a Texas border inspection. This is really wild, and I learned this is one of the things I really enjoy about doing this show. I learned so much in reading some of these articles. But a woman lost a whole lot of meat, and then some, on Monday following an inspection at the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. How many pounds of meat do you think she lost, Dick? Bologna, more specifically.
I don't know. I mean,
748 pounds of bologna, 280 boxes of undeclared prescription medications were also found, and $7,600 in concealed currency were all confiscated at this one border. Okay, first of all, not sure why she had 748 pounds of bologna, but there's a picture of these huge logs, and they look like massive Vienna sausages. She when she did get to the border, she declared, one hot meal. That's all she said that she had. I guess that was to cover the smell.
Border Patrol shows?
I live it, buddy. I don't have to watch them.
You know what I'm talking about?
No,
On that, like Nat Geo and everything?
I mean, I've seen it.
It's pretty...
It's like Cops at the Border.
It is. It's pretty fascinating, though, what people try to bring over. Like, I was watching one episode, and apparently drug dealers hide drugs in fish. So every time there's, like, a fish...
Yep.
Like, you declare... Like, it's... What I love is
We
people...
talked about that on this very show.
Yeah, but what I love is the individual cars that try to cross. And they're like, oh, yeah, I have a couple fish. And it's like...
Just one fillet. Couldn't go the trip without it.
But it's like never just one.
No, it's 740 pounds worth.
It's. I'm like thinking, like, really, dude? Like, this is what we're doing? And they hit this. That particular one wasn't even doing drugs. He just wanted to have fish. And
Who doesn't?
That's where. That's what he did. And
I think this woman should have just opened a fresh can of Vienna right there to have it open. And so when she rolled down her window, she'd be like, "Oh, this is the smell that you're smelling," because there is no hiding 748 pounds.
I don't know how long do you think it would take to eat 748 pounds of bologna? Because bologna isn't good.
No, it's not. And this is Mexican bologna, by the way. And I just love to say Mexican bologna. Well, were you aware that Mexican bologna and other meats is prohibited from entering the United States? Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I think pretty much anything that's...
And well, the reason is because it has a potential to introduce foreign animal diseases to the United States pork industry. I'm like,
can't get
well,
it.
aren't we the ones eating it? Like, I'm confused how that would bring in disease. I mean, I suppose we spread it now. We catch it and then spread it to the pigs when we're, with our pigs.
I don't know. Maybe if they bring it to Kroger, like...
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know. What do you do with 748 pounds of bologna? Do you try to sell it on the streets, like Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, exactly. How do you unload some of this stuff? I looked. Is this in the run sheet here? No, I thought I put a list of items that were illegal as well. It was kind of funny, but I don't see it on there. Maybe I did. Maybe it didn't make.
What I love is
I am after all the Maestro of the run sheet, but I guess
it's like you're already transporting 200 some boxes of bologna. Might as well bring on the drugs.
True that.
Because that's what she had. She had like prescription medication.
Yeah, I doubt that was legal either. Well, my gosh. Oh well, I had a list. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. It says other items like, quote, dangerous toys. I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure what constitutes a dangerous toy. What is that, like lawn darts or something?
I'd probably be lead.
Cars that don't protect their occupants in a crash. I don't even know what that means. Bushmeat. I know you're all about bushmeat.
Yeah, man. Farm to table.
Are you aware of what the term bushmeat is?
No.
So it's kind of strange. I hadn't heard the term bushmeat in a while, but I had heard it before. And it basically, although it sounds really funny, is basically just any animal that's been killed that's for human consumption. So think of your venison, anything like that is considered bushmeat.
I like it. That's a cool term.
Or illegal substances like absinthe or rohypnol, because these will be seized and or result in a civil penalty, according to the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol website. That's on the internet, Dick. So don't you be trying to sneak over any bushmeat over these borders.
If I went over the border, I would very rarely I would try to bring anything over because they could just take whatever. And then if they start, like, if you like, because that was actually another episode, one of those border things. This lady's like, "Oh, I declare this medication."
Right. That's the trick.
And then it's like, okay, well, if you have 2 bottles, well, three's the limit. So why didn't you get 3? And then they search the car and they find like 40.
Right. So this is, you're bringing up an interesting point. And this is where I wanted to go with this. When you're attempting to snuggle or smuggle things across the border, do you claim anything, or do you just run the run of, nope, just came over for the day and ate lunch? Nothing going on in this car.
There's nothing in my backpack.
Right, because you bring up a good point of, you say, well, yeah, I have 2 bottles. Really? Just 2? So now you've told them, hey, look, I am bringing some stuff back. It's an interesting game. Maybe we should test this out, an AOO border crossing experiment. What should we tell the agent to not get busted?
I would do fish heads.
Well, I'm sure those are illegal, right? You can't bring, I think, basically anything other than like boner meds
Can you bring
and
over
liquor.
alcohol?
Liquor.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Like cases of it?
There is a limit on how much you can bring over. Yeah, but you can bring it. I think it's like maybe 2 bottles of 750 milliliters or something like that. I'm not sure how I know the exact amount, but, in a previous life, perhaps, I was running some rum across interstate lines.
That's funny.
Oh, this is funny. A Philadelphia man pled guilty to falsely claiming that a man he disagreed with in his fantasy football league chat was planning a mass shooting in Norway. Oh my God. A hoax that Norwegian and U.S. authorities spent hundreds of hours investigating, blah, blah, blah. So this is basically, you know how it is with fantasy football. They've got chats, and sometimes you're in these leagues with people you don't know.
Yeah.
And I know that you tend to have an issue with communications via text where your humor may not always come across the right way. Well, this is probably what happened. This guy was like, I beat you last week. You guys suck. And somebody got mad, so he did the ultimate...
I actually got removed.
You?
From a sport chat, yeah.
Oh, no way.
My jokes weren't...
They weren't hitting, were they?
Yeah. Well, one involved like a wheelchair, and one guy got really sensitive about it, and I was like, how am I supposed to know that you're... like your brother's in a wheelchair?
How about you just stay away from those bear traps altogether, Dick? This is the problem. But let this be a lesson to you. This is over the line, by the way. I'm just going to say this.
Why Norway?
It's a kind of a long article, but it is pretty funny. And basically what this is, it's like an international case of swatting, right? Have you heard of swatting?
Oh, so the guy lived in Norway.
No, they both lived over here in the United States, but he said that he basically had gotten tipped that he was going over to Norway for a concert of some sort, and he just didn't want to see anybody get hurt. Man, he's just the good guy.
Yeah.
He says he has a shooting plan with multiple people on his
Sounds like my
side
ex-wife.
involved. This is a 25-year-old man named Matthew Gabriel. Yikes, man. Sounds like a what?
So it sounds like my ex-wife.
And how so? Was she swatting you
She's
quite
gonna try to swap me, man.
Well, this wasn't the...
Because you send my picture to the police, they're like, yeah, clearly that guy is capable of causing harm. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty wild, though. I think it's kind of funny at the same time, but...
Here it is. He contacted the Norwegian authorities because he learned that the football chat member was going to study abroad in Norway. So he's like, hey, man, he's coming your way.
Yeah.
You can thank me later. Well, now this guy is doing time. It also says that prior to this, he had made another false claim about this same guy. This guy's really got a bug up his butt. I don't know what was said in the chat. Whatever it is, it couldn't have been that bad. But basically, he said that somebody was going to come to a school in Nebraska and shoot it up. Yeah, on March 22nd of this year, Gabriel sent an email posing as another person to the University of Iowa, not Nebraska, with the subject line, possible threat. Hello, I saw in this group chat I'm in, and I just wanted to make sure everyone is safe and fine. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody today. Thank you. A man, I believe, from Nebraska sent this, and I want to make sure that this is a joke and no one will get hurt. Well, now this dude is in trouble. So, Dick, don't swat folks in your chat group.
Not going to do it.
Or your guilds, your multiple guilds that you're a part of. I know you said the Good Boy movie was good, man, but it sucked. You sucked, too.
I wanted to tell you, speaking of World of Warcraft, there's this guy named I Am Goop. I saw that the other day, and I was like...
His name is I Am Goop?
Goop. And I was like, that's awesome. That is awesome.
So did you ever do it and get one of the candles? Light it up
No,
and
I
give
got
it
one of the jade crystals.
and just take a rip.
The jade stones.
Yeah, where do those go? What do you do with them?
Purify yourself.
Stick it up your nose?
Yeah. Everywhere. You stick it everywhere. Oh, man. I can't believe that's real.
I just figured by now you would have gotten one of those candles and just...
I'm not paying $80 for a
Is it
candle.
really $80?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, if it wasn't so expensive, I would do it as a bit for the show and have it delivered here, and then we'd light it on air and do our review of Gwen's nethers.
Yeah, that's wild.
This is like berries in the summertime. That is extremely wild. I didn't realize it was $80. Everything on that.
Yeah.
And then she had the nerve to actually call it goop. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing.
I love it, man.
It's pretty ballsy, man. Dick, have you or your parents ever, I guess it wouldn't be you because you don't have kids, lied about your age in order to get in somewhere for free or get a free meal or a discounted meal?
No.
I don't know that my parents did. They may have. I don't remember it because you're just the kid. I have to admit, I've done this with my kid probably once, but it was not anything really egregious. Like it was maybe kids 10 and under get in free, and the daughter may have just turned 11. And it's like, hey, look, let's have a little conversation here, sweetie. It's not really lying. You get all sanctimonious about when it's okay to lie and when it's not. Dad's running a little short on cash this week, so when they ask if you're under 10, just act normal, okay? Just act normal. I may have done that.
Well, I for a while, my friends in college, we would prank each other by telling the restaurant it was someone's birthday. But we wouldn't tell that person. And
I've been the victim of this before,
so
actually.
it's like, it got so... I guess it happened so often every time we went out. We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, that's no fun anymore. Then.
And it's kind of funny because you're waiting like,
all right, when is it coming?
Like who's the one that did
Especially like a Mexican food restaurant.
Yeah.
They come put the hat on you and start singing and give you shots of tequila and shake your head around and smack your ass. Wait, that was one too
it? Yeah.
far.
What kind of birthday parties you have, bro?
You need to come out to eat with
like
me.
it.
Well, a Disneyland mom was hauled out in cuffs alongside her hysterical children when she tried sneaking them into the park without paying.
Throw them over the fence.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. This is really funny, but I guess when she tried to walk in, they asked her the age of her kids, and she just kept going, like basically ignored them. And then of course they called security on them, and when she was confronted, she goes ballistic.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, basically. Yeah, and video, I think there's a large amount of cursing. Otherwise, I would play the video for you. But it racked up nearly 400,000 views already in just a few days. Not necessarily the most happy place on earth as they're advertising in that video.
It is what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a reason you have kids. It's
Well,
to
and
get into Disneyland for free.
Yeah, true. This is exactly it. And I think it was something like children under 3 and her kids were significantly older than 3. It's not like what I tried to do and they're on the borderline. Like this kid's got a 5 o'clock shadow walking in. He's like, yeah, I'm 3.
Yeah.
From the video, they don't appear to be small children.
I don't think I've ever really gotten caught doing stuff like that. Like, no one got the
You're
birthday
so good
thing.
at it.
No, because, like, the birthday thing, it was just so easy to do because, like, the waiter never challenged it.
No. I think in this case, if you've got to ask your kid to put away his vape pen before he enters as an under 3-year-old, you're probably pushing the limits there. If they were really little and she hadn't said anything, the guy probably would have let him go. But like I said, they're ripping on a vape pen and cussing and stuff. I don't think these kids are 3. Just going to go out on a limb and say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man, it's probably a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about something that Stone Cold Steve Austin just cannot bring himself to believe in. Audience of One Show, we'll be right back.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
And we're back here on Audience of One every Friday at 10 a.m. You can sponsor, donate today, or reach out and send us your funny articles at audienceofoneshow@gmail.com.
No onesie feedback this time. This
Oh.
is all me, baby.
All
Maestro
you?
the run sheet.
Yeah, we got a busy show today, and especially a month, October. October's
Yeah,
pretty
buddy,
much
it is here. October the 4th. May the
So-
4th be with you. Wait,
Yeah.
that doesn't make...
Same, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
whatever.
October the 4th be with you? I don't know. But yes, onesies, if you like what you're hearing, you know what? Do us a favor. Like, share, subscribe, follow, donate, sponsor, do whatever it is that you feel like you need to do to continue keeping this madness going. Because content doesn't grow on trees, you know? Actually, it does. Just this stuff just keeps appearing. I don't really have to do a lot, you know, to actually put this together. Wait, what am I saying? I can't admit that on air. I scour the internet.
Fair enough, dude. I like it.
You know, we talked earlier about going back in future and how it wouldn't do me a lot of good to have the knowledge I have now because I'm too stupid to be able to reinvent things. I'd just be able to tell people about them. QR codes is another one. I think it's funny how things like a QR code, we completely know what to do with them now. But if I saw one of those in like 1994, I would have absolutely no idea what it is. But now you sit down at a restaurant and you see that QR code, you know immediately that's the menu.
Yeah.
Right? By the way, do QR codes read the white or the black?
I have no idea.
See?
You're
Exactly.
you're
I don't know
asking
how it
me that
works.
question?
So here I am explaining QR codes to an engineer in 1952 because I've just traveled back in a DeLorean. And I'm like, all right, man, there's this thing. It looks like a blob painting on a table. And you get out your cell phone, and when you scan it, it takes you to a website. He's going to look at me like, I didn't catch any of that. Yeah. It looks like a Rorschach test, right? Is that what it kind of looks like?
Well, they also
But again,
might
I don't
think you're
know. Is it reading the
insane.
white or the black?
I don't know.
I don't know how they work. I actually did try and look it up, and I didn't find a definitive answer. So I thought I'd come and ask you. See how that really got me far, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Are you a fan of the QR code at restaurants? Are you like the good old fashioned greasy menu? Somebody may or may not have
I don't know.
spilled something
I
on
always seem to have trouble with them because
QR codes.
yeah, like sometimes they work perfectly, and sometimes it's like, well, I want to order food and my phone's not pulling it up. Like,
Yep, I'm not a
especially-
fan of them.
Especially during COVID, they're always like, "Oh, well, we don't have printed menus. Like, they don't have them at all."
Right.
And I'm like, "Well,
How am
okay.
I going to do this? Yeah. I'm not a fan of them for the menu. I guess they're okay if there's an organization, they've got a banner like, hey, here's for additional, information on our organization, scan this or something like that. I get that. But at a restaurant, I like to have the old menu. Although I am at the age now where I have to have readers. Oh, no.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I bust out the readers now at a restaurant. Nothing says I'm middle-aged more than a pair of glasses at the end of your nose. How are you doing on the vision?
I don't know.
Your time's coming, dude.
I don't
and
really
when it comes
know.
on, it comes on fierce. It's like I could see yesterday what the heck happened.
Yeah.
You don't know how your vision is?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably bad, but I can still read stuff. So.
How many fingers am I holding up right now?
Could I really read in the beginning? That's arguable. And no, I do enjoy getting old because
You do?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you say that now. Just wait.
Well, you're not even that old. Like
I'm not, but you do. The body hits a certain age, and I'm going to say it's somewhere in the early to mid 40s where there's a certain biological reset where it says, this isn't going to be nearly as smooth from here on out, just so you know. And your body lets you know it. I'm dealing with that right now.
I mean, all I really
It's fun.
it's like you're gonna hit that point where why even live?
Well, I'm not there, but I
So-
will say that living is probably not as much fun when you don't feel as good. Like if you don't have as much energy or your hip hurts, your knee hurts, you wake up too fast and you get dizzy. Life isn't as much fun, but, it is what it is. Consider the alternative, right?
What, being dead?
Correct. I don't want to do that. I like this thing called life.
Yeah. Do you think
A
like
cine
Stephen
charm
Hawking
kinda
had a
life.
quality of life? Do you think he enjoyed every day?
Didn't he go out with Epstein and go on the island, though? I think he was having a pretty good time.
I think he dated his nurse,
So I think he was doing just fine, man.
which is hilarious to me.
And everybody thought he was the smartest man on the planet. So that's a
Yeah.
good bit to have. But was he really? Was he really that smart?
I don't know.
No, I think he really was.
Was it really him pushing the buttons on that computer?
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of research on him, but I do think he was probably a very very intelligent man. Speaking about growing up and growing older, this TikTok went viral last year. It's just now running across my timeline, though. But the quote says, "I'm so upset this Gen Z worker went absolutely viral for slamming the 9-to-5 workday." And I apologize to all our onesies who are out there who are already aware of this because it's a year old. But it's really, really funny. Now, she does drop an F-bomb, so we're going to have to either start
Hopefully
right
I
after
skipped
that,
it, yeah.
or you can just quickly pull the volume down at around second 16. But I want you to listen to this girl complaining about having to go to work. Crank up the volume.
So it literally takes me, I leave here, I get on the train at 7:30 and I don't get home till 6:15 earliest, and then I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. I don't have energy to work out. That's out the window.
Yep, get used to it, sister.
I'm so upset. Oh my god. Nothing to do with my job at all, but just the 9-to-5 schedule in general is
Let it play.
crazy. Being in the office 9 to 5, if it was remote,
Unreal.
you get off at 5 and you're home and everything's fine. But I'm not home. It takes me long to get home, and people that drive to the office, you don't get off at 5. And I know it could be worse. I know I could be working longer, but I literally get off, it's pitch black. I don't have energy. How do you have friends? How do you have time to meet a guy? I don't know. How do you have time for dating? I don't have time for anything, and I'm so stressed out. And I'm also getting my period, so that's why I'm really Am I so dramatic? It's fine.
Okay, so that is the end of that clip. Again, we couldn't play the very start of it because, well, she cusses. But as easy as it is to poke fun at this young girl who is coming to grasps with the real world, she does kind of have a point. And yes, right, I mean, it does suck, and we just go, suck it up, girl. It's called the way it is. It's the real world. But just because it's the real world doesn't mean it has to be that way, right? And so I do feel for her that, yeah, we, for whatever reason, have just decided that this 40-hour work week is going to be what it is, and you've got to come to the office. And she's coming to terms with it. I mean, it does kind of suck. I don't know that there's a better way. I mean, obviously, people have to work, and you've got to get to work, and this and that and the other. But it's just kind of the way it is. I understand where she's coming from. I think at one point I probably had some similar break. I wasn't on my period at the time, and I certainly didn't go out to
Yeah.
TikTok and record it, but I have had frustrations where I'm like, man, I leave the office when it's dark, or leave my house when it's dark. I get back, especially in the wintertime when the days are short, it's already dark. I can't do any, I basically just wake up, go to work, come home, eat, go to sleep, and repeat. And it's frustrating, but it's called real life. I just think the way she put it out there was pretty funny, though. What say you, Dick? You're probably already going, what's her number? By the way, I can help her out.
I'll give her time to date. No, I like it. Whatever. I mean, it's one of those things where people get in those ruts, especially this young lady. She clearly hasn't been able to manage her time.
No, I think this is just this is the
And-
way it is, though, man. I mean, like her parents probably did this exact same thing, and she didn't think anything of it because it's just she's a child. But as now she's probably in her early 20s and realizing, "Man, I have to like get on a train and I have to like go to work. It sucks."
I just can't imagine the folks out there that unfortunately drive for like 2 hours to their job.
Yeah, I used to commute, man.
Like driving for a living, I
And
get
it's terrible.
But like doing when you're commuting almost half the time you're working,
Correct.
that's wild to me.
Yeah, my commute wasn't that bad. It was probably 40 to 45 minutes in the morning and anywhere from an hour to an hour and 15 on the way back. And it was terrible. I ain't going to lie to you. It was terrible. I'll never get any of that time back. I found some good radio shows I would listen to, and that would help pass the time. But yeah, commuting, it was terrible. I'm so glad that now I do not have to do that. But it was just what I did. I guess I didn't really know any different. But oh well. I think I need to go out online. So I did a little research, too, on the history of the 40-hour work week. Back in May 1st of 1886, labor organizations called for a national strike in support of a shorter work day. More than 300,000 workers turned out across the country. And in Chicago, demonstrators fought with police over the next few days. Many on both sides were wounded or even killed in an event that is now known as the Haymarket Affair. Haymarket Affair.
Interesting.
So in 1890, the U.S. government said, you know what? Maybe we should actually look into this. Maybe these people are complaining about something that's legit. And they began tracking workers' hours. Would you like to know what the average work week for a person in 1890 was?
What? Like 60 hours?
100 hours.
Yo.
This was for full-time manufacturing. Back when America used to make things, make goods. We need to make America great again.
Well, I mean, I imagine
That was too easy.
Those places in China are 100-hour work weeks.
Yeah. This is in the United States only that I'm referring to. Well, the 8-hour workday in 1906 was instituted at two major firms in the printing industry. And in September 3rd, 1916, Congress passed the Adamson Act, a federal law that established an 8-hour workday for interstate railroad workers, and the Supreme Court constitutionalized that act the following year. And we have since basically had the 40-hour work week ever since. Like larger companies started adopting. Ford Motor Company, it says, in 1926 adopted it, blah, 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 blah. So there we
Well,
go.
that's pretty amazing.
It is super amazing. So this girl can just shut it. All right. As teased, I got to scroll up here because my page reset. WWE legend Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't believe in CTE.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory.
I'm hoping that he was taken out of context here. I hope. But apparently he was on an episode of some podcast, I think it was. Again, this page is reset several times in front of me, so I don't have all the info. But where he basically went on and said that, he's been dropped on his head and he's been concussed and he worked for a long time. But other than the fact that I can't remember having too many concussions, there wasn't anything bad about pro wrestling in that business. But to not be able to believe in it, I like this theory though, because I'm going to start adopting this for things in my life. Like I don't believe in overdrawn bank accounts. I just don't believe in it. When they come back and say, "Sir, your card was canceled." I don't believe in that type of stuff. Run it again. Breathe on it like a Nintendo cartridge. It's okay. It's an interesting line of thinking, isn't it?
Well, it is one of those things too, because I guess like the way he says it, he goes, "I've always, and my take on that has always been, if you were just wrestling and you got a bunch of concussions, you're probably doing something wrong."
Victim blame. Yeah, my page.
I'm not a
finally reset.
CTE guy. I just don't believe in it.
There you go. That was the money quote.
Yeah.
Yep. It says, while it looks like this comment is about wrestlers not working safely, Austin's statements takes a strange turn with that line you just uttered there. I just don't believe in it. Yeah, again, probably not the smartest thing to do or to say. But again, I'm going to take that idea and run with it. What else would you not like to believe in, Dick?
Well, I mean, I don't know. CTE is also relatively new.
Yeah, no, I mean, things that you just don't believe in, like the landlord comes in and says, your rent's late. You're like,
I don't believe in
I don't
rent.
really believe in this thing called late rent that you keep speaking of. No.
Well, I think every day is a new opportunity to prove me wrong on things I don't believe in. Like, what was that? Like ADHD. I never really fully understood that. But then you meet certain people where it's like, oh wow, like
Yeah, you got a bad
like,
case of it.
You are
Yeah.
a special kind of person. Same thing with time loss or time
blindness.
Time blindness. Like, I ran into that, like a real life scenario of it, and I was like, that is amazing. It is kind of real,
It was
isn't
an
it?
actual thing.
Yeah, I don't really know. Again, I'm open to all the stuff, so it's like I don't mind being wrong, but not believing in something, you just never know.
I love that though. I just don't believe in it.
Yeah.
And it does kind of leave you an out. I'm not saying it's not true for some, but just for me, it's a belief that I don't hold. It's actually really political of him to do that. I like it.
Well,
it.
I mean, is he saying that he doesn't believe in it outright, or he doesn't believe that people can claim CTE as the reason they act or behave?
Probably all the above. I don't know. We would have to ask him.
Because it's kind of weird to
We'll
make
give
that
him the
kind of
form.
claim if, like, CTE is a diagnosis.
Sure,
Like, it
and
is a legit
it is.
thing. So it's like to say you don't believe what this doctor's saying. I wonder what else he doesn't believe.
That's
It's like cancer isn't real.
don't believe in it.
What? You know what it is? What is real is the chemicals they put in you after they diagnose you with cancer. That's what kills you, not the cancer.
You know what? I didn't sleep with your wife. I don't believe in adultery.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe in marriage.
A Florida man.
You sound like my ex-wife.
A Florida man has 150 live bugs removed from his nose.
Whoa.
And he didn't even know they were there. Well, no kidding. I mean, I don't think you're going to get up to 150 and not and actually
there a
be aware
video
of it,
of
right?
this?
Because I mean, think about it. If you got bugs up your nose, you're like, that probably feels like about 10. I mean, you don't know, so it could be 1, it could be 150. It says Jacksonville doctors removed 150 live bugs in the larva stage from his nose and sinuses of a cancer survivor earlier this month, and this was earlier this year, actually. The unidentified man had been feeling off ever since last October, but it wasn't until his face and lips swelled on February 9th that he decided, you know what, I'm going to go get some help. My face shouldn't be swelling up. Maybe he listened to us talk about eating grasshoppers, and he thought, you know what, if I snort it and get into my system faster, and really help that libido speed up. What are you saying?
Well, it's
Are you seeing pictures? I mean, if you're
Yeah,
seeing
I'm
pictures,
seeing pictures.
share with the classroom.
no, what's wild is like how his body was able to house these things, because apparently he had cancer like 20, 30 years ago in his nasal system.
So there was like a big cavity in
So
there.
now he has a hole, but then how he got the larva.
Oh, that picture's nasty.
Oh, yeah, dude. How he got the larva, apparently he fishes a lot, and he would never clean his hands after dealing with fish.
He's just wiping his nose
And I
again like
guess
Taylor
he was
Swift.
wiping his nose. And yeah,
You know,
like,
and then he was
that
eating,
is wild.
and then he was eating some of that Mexican bologna that chick smuggled over the border.
Yeah.
Didn't wash his hands. That is pretty sick. This is let this again be a lesson to you, Dick. First of all,
Well, wouldn't that be wild
Don't
if
go
you
fishing, but
died?
second of all,
if you died,
wash your hands.
right? And it's like your dad, and you're like, oh, my dad just died. Like, well, how did he die, Doc? And then it's like, you're not going to believe this. There was larva. Because they're talking about, they found larva close to his brain. Because I guess
Yikes.
whatever surgery he had with his nasal system was just a big hole.
Just made like this big cavernous area for larvae to just have a big party in there.
But was he just smelling the fish?
No, I think he was probably like I am right now, wiping my nose constantly because he has
There's
allergies.
got to be something else going on with this.
I don't know. It is definitely weird, but true.
Yeah, there's bugs, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine sneezing? And it's like, what the hell? And you're like, oh, Jesus. Okay.
I would think sneezing would help, though, right? Couldn't you possibly get
Well,
some
there was
of them out
over
that way?
30 larvae in his head.
No, it said over 150 live bugs.
Well,
Gross.
can you imagine after that, like 2 weeks later, the paranoia you would have had? Like, did you get all of them?
Yeah.
Did you check the ears?
Yeah, any little symptom I'm feeling, I'm like, oh my God, it's a bug.
I just pooped out some bugs.
From one end to the other.
Yeah.
Dick, are you familiar with the term free birth and what a free birth is?
I want to say yes. Is it like where you don't have any of the drugs, you're like at home? And
Yep.
then like
You just lean over
And
the
you just go for
countertop
it.
in the kitchen and just let it go. It's basically it is a I'll just say, an increasing number of pregnant women are choosing a free birth plan, which is a delivery without any medical intervention of any kind.
Yeah.
And of course, just like anything else, it goes onto social, and then the women start talking about it, like, oh, maybe this is the way to go. And so, of course, now that ticks up the incidences of them. But they're saying that it is very, very dangerous to do this. I'm like, yeah, you think? Because, I mean, back in, quote, the day, percentages of ladies who died in labor were significantly higher than they are now because they didn't have all the medicine. And everything. So you're introducing all these things that we have.
Light an incense, start pushing.
Get that goop candle going.
Get the goop candle.
And just go for it.
Shove in that jade stone and see if that helps the pressure.
That's right. It says the trend towards non-hospital births has been rising steadily for years, according to the medical journal called Birth. Boy, I bet that's an interesting read. Non-hospital births increased by 77% from 2004 to 2017. Social media is awash in pictures and videos of pregnant people laboring in inflatable pools and in their living rooms. Yep, over the corner of the Barca Lounger, all kinds of stuff. And of course, other ladies see it and say, I want to do that. Honey, let's free birth. Let's free birth. And we'll stream it. We'll put it on our stream.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Let's do it in the RV.
Let's put some larvae in there too. Freak people out. No, I think it's kind of funny that people make decisions like this, but then again, do whatever you want to do.
It says free birth is also referred to as unassisted birth.
Can you imagine the cable guy? Like he gets scheduled to finally come out to your house. And
is Wednesday in between 2 and 4 okay with you, ma'am?
Actually,
I was planning on free birthing at that point.
Well, no, that was the whole joke with the cable people. Like they just kind of, we'll be there in a month, and then it's like you're giving birth.
The next crew comes to bury the line.
Yeah. And he's like here screaming. He's like, I wonder what's going on inside. Like, oh my god.
Ma'am, are you free birthing in there again?
Oh.
Unlike traditional home births where an attending midwife is present to ensure everything with the birth is proceeding normally and who has the ability to detect any changes that may put the parent and child at risk, with free birthing, no medical personnel are present during the labor and even delivery. So basically all you do is have your husband there with a catcher's mitt. And that's it, man.
A catcher's mitt? Probably a basket.
But it might be.
Probably a basket.
No, it'd probably be a first baseman.
With a towel.
Probably be a first baseman's mitt.
Yeah. Or a bucket.
Or just a bucket. But you got to have the glove. No matter what.
And a garden hose. Because that's the logic thing. You shove that in, turn on the water, and hopefully it backwashes out, right? Is that how it works?
Something like that. Yeah. I have to watch one of these videos.
I'm already a professional birther.
Well, one of the things they say that hospital births have the potential to increase anxiety significantly because you're at the hospital, you're already nervous. If you're at your house,
well, I know, like my cousin used to have a home birthing house, but she was a nurse, like a registered nurse.
Okay, yeah, so she's a midwife essentially.
So it's basically a midwife, but they would still hook you up to machines and stuff.
Right, exactly. That wasn't considered. It wasn't free
like,
birth.
Hey, you get
she put it on like Airbnb.
I don't know how it worked.
Here's the birthing room.
But people always care. Like, it's so funny to me that certain aspects in our society that we take these original concepts that have been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years. It's like, how can we make it weird? You know, it's like, let's give birth in the thing of Jell-O. Like the water birthing stuff is kind of funny to me.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like, how do you really make a choice that's a good one? It's like, is it better to birth underwater? Like,
I don't know. It's what they're saying. But oftentimes, pregnant people lack the resources to hire medical professionals. So this is also another reason because it is significantly less expensive.
Oh, well, then there you go.
Yeah, that's. Let's get down to it.
Do it in the alleyway, bro.
Yeah, exactly. How we doing on time, bud? I neglected to write down the time. So
we're good. We're already 22 minutes in this segment.
Oh man, this is great. Well, it sounds like a pretty good time to talk about the pink tax. This was something I had on the run sheet a few weeks ago. We did not get to it and got moved, and I said I would talk about it. Well, the pink tax refers to the tendency for products marked specifically towards women to be more expensive than those marked towards men. And it's not just like feminine products that they have to purchase. I mean, unfortunately, women have to buy feminine
like
hygiene
tampons.
Products, correct, whereas men don't. This is simply like deodorant. If a man's deodorant is $1.50, the woman's deodorant is going to be $1.75 or $2.25. And they mark it up. look, at the risk of victim blaming here, I'm also going to say that some of this is brought on to themselves because women probably place a higher value on some of these things and therefore are willing to pay more money for them. I just did deodorant for crying out loud.
Deodorant, there's different classes of deodorant.
Shampoos,
Yeah, I believe
hairsprays.
that.
If it's a female-oriented herbal essence, it's going to be more expensive
Yeah, but
than
I
just
can
your,
see guys
you know,
buying
your
that
regular
stuff too,
swab
though.
for dudes.
I can see guys buying that stuff
Yeah,
because I've seen women buy men's deodorant because it's like it just works the same.
I think that's the point. Is it's basically
But
the
like the
same
hair
product,
stuff I
but when you
get.
market it,
Because say my hair used to be really curly, I bought the curly goop. Give me that curly goop.
is this to tame your hair? You get a
Yeah.
tamer. A 2015 study by the New York City Department of Consumer Affairs studied this on the cost of being a female consumer, concluded that women's products are typically more expensive than men's without reasonable cause. It concluded that products marketed specifically toward women cost on average 7% more than products marketed towards men. The discrepancy applies to apparel, toys, yeah, what kind of toys? Healthcare products, among other things. In the toy sector, girls' toys cost an average of 7% more than boys. The study showed a side-by-side comparison of a Radio Flyer scooter where the red scooter cost $24.99 and an identical but pink scooter costs $49. Man, these women just can't catch a break. Right there from birth, from their free birth to childhood, they getting screwed, man. Just getting screwed.
I think it's kind of wild that it's gotten to that point where you don't really know if it's real. But
What do you mean?
You can, like, this whole idea. Like, if someone try to explain the pink tax, you'd be like, well, then just don't buy the deodorant.
Yeah, wear boys' clothes. This is where the
But
movement,
then
the
it's
trans
like, but then you're like, I
movement's
can
coming
kind of
from.
see it, though. I can see that marketing meaning, hey, we can sell a pink one for like 20% more.
Yeah.
Why not?
Just get the red one. It says that girls' clothes were on average 4% more expensive than boys' clothes. Women's clothing was 8% more expensive than men's clothing.
I thought it'd be a lot more. to
And it
be
says, of
honest.
course, the largest discrepancy is in the personal care and hygiene products, where the women's products are 13% more
I can see
than
that.
men's.
I can see that.
The women just cannot catch a break, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There you go.
Yep. Staying on women. A gold of wild otters mauls a woman who was out for a jog in Malaysia.
Oh, is there? Oh, wow.
There
she got
is.
beat
This is
up.
insane. But you know, otters by themselves are cute little things. But when they're in the gang and they're wild, those things are absolutely vicious. But a group of wild otters viciously attacked a woman jogging in the inner city of Malaysia. Her name was Maricela Hurun, 40, was chased and mauled by 8 of the mammals
hold
on
on.
Wednesday
Let's see if I
morning.
can pull this up for
The
the
northern in a northern state of Malaysia. All right, you got the video here.
All right.
It's pretty gruesome. There is a picture where she's bloodied and bruised.
Look at
and,
that.
And it seems like,
They're
yeah.
going down the street, dog.
Dude, if I saw a pack of otters, I'm not sure what I would do.
I would just ignore them.
They look, yeah, if they're running towards you, though, man, they look like they are on a mission. If you can't see this onesies and you're just listening to it on podcast, someone has
They're just in the parking
they're in a
lot.
parking lot of, looks like, I don't know,
8 of them?
yeah, and some sort of, I don't know, commercial parking lot of some sort, and there's like 8 of them just running wild and attacked this woman. Poor thing.
Let's see if I can look at the video, the picture of her though. Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
But no one would have believed.
swear
no one would have believed.
I
you.
swear we've done stories about otters attacking before. It seems like this is not the first time we've done this. This is more popular than you
Yeah.
would think. Kind of reminds me of the horny dolphin. You know, maybe these little otters were just attracted to her running pants. I don't know. Just saying.
Maybe they're pissed off. They pay 15% more for their deodorant, and they're just like, "We got to get these women."
Well, it is something to be worried about because otter attacks are increasing across the whole Southeast Asia area of our world.
Global warming.
It is absolutely. They're pissed off about something. let's
Yeah.
let's let this be
That's how
known,
the.
right?
I think that's how the Antichrist gets announced.
Through a pack of otters.
It's just the behavior of the otters attacking people. They're trying to warn us.
I think what's happened is them otters ran into some of that caffeinated ramen.
Oh yeah, you think so?
Yeah, well, yeah, and they're all hyped up on I don't know how many 25 milligrams per serving of caffeine and ramen. Well, don't they eat trash and all kinds of stuff?
I don't know.
I'm sure they're going through trash and
I
finding.
mean, I don't think they're like raccoons.
No, but think about that.
It's still
though.
kind of wild seeing them in a parking lot.
Yeah, I've never seen. Well, because Oh, I know what we talked about. We talked about the otter park in Austin, where you can go swim with Otto the otter. And I remember commenting about how lame and how lazy of a name choice that was. It's like really you couldn't think of anything besides Otto. But they're all docile and cute, and they do fun things with their hands.
they get you.
And then they rip your face off.
But you think they eat people?
No, but it does say they can weigh up to 14 kilograms and grow up to 4 feet tall, including their tail. I don't know how much 14 kilograms is, but I'm going to guess that's like 8 to 10 pounds, right? No, that's more than that. Quick, do a quick kilogram to pound conversion for me, Dick. How much is 14 kilograms?
Well, 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds.
Right, so I went the wrong way with my calculation, so obviously it's like 30
So
pounds.
it's 30 pounds.
Good grief. Wow.
Imagine throwing one of those at somebody. Like, here you go, buddy. Here's an otter.
Miss Haroon said she fought off the animals for what felt like 5 minutes. Sounds like a story she had with her husband earlier, too. She described finding herself suddenly surrounded by the pack after they, quote, jumped out from a drain
Oh, whoa.
in the Pindera Park. So these are drain otters, man.
Yeah.
These are like
Good
straight from the
Lord.
hood. Yeah. At first, I thought, it was a cat, but the creature jumped out at me and bit me while I was running, and then there were many of them. I could not even stand up when it was happening.
Jeez.
She was taken to a nearby hospital, and a wildlife team was sent to monitor the otters.
Okay.
God, man. It says otters generally avoid humans, and their perceived cuteness might lead some to mistakenly believe that they are friendly and tame. But he said it is not advised to approach them as they can be quite vicious. All right, man, it's about time for the quick hit here at the end of the show. Are you familiar with what Merkel's boner is?
No.
Would you like to know all about Mr. Merkel's boner?
Yeah.
Merkel's boner refers to the notorious base running mistake committed by rookie Fred Merkel of the New York Giants in a game against the Chicago Cubs on September 23, 1908. Merkel's failure to advance to second base on what should have been a game-winning hit led instead to a forced play at second and tied the game. The Cubs later won the makeup game, which proved decisive as they beat the Giants in one game to win the National League pennant in 1908. It has been described as, quote, the most controversial game in baseball history. But I like to call it Merkel's boner, because that's actually what it's called. Back then in the day, the word boner meant something different than what you're
What does it
thinking of
mean?
right now.
What does it
A
mean?
mistake, a boner. Basically, it was, oh, man.
I'm bringing that
Dang it.
back. I'm bringing
You're gonna
that
bring
back hard.
You bringing boner back hard,
yeah.
man.
Like, do you think Dick Cheese Boner would be a mistake?
I don't know that we should say Dick's boner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had quite a mistake here on air day. Dick's boner.
You find these great history lessons because I still kind of don't understand what the mistake was.
He was supposed to advance, and he didn't advance on
off
a play.
hit. So
off
he,
of a
he
hit.
just was
He's-
watching the otters come out.
He was basically amazed by watching a pack of otters. He was eating his vitamin-packed, caffeine-infused ramen from a squeeze tube, and did not advance to second base on what should have been the game-winning hit, but instead to force a play at second and tie the game. Yeah.
That sucks for that guy, I guess.
Yeah. Merkel's boner.
I really like that. That's funny. Oh, it was at the Polo Grounds. That's
He
a
was
long
only
time ago.
19 years old. He was the youngest player in the National League at the time,
Yeah.
and he played in only 38 games all year, ironically, with a boner. It was amazing.
Yeah, okay.
All right, man. I think that's all we got time for. I honestly, I didn't look at the time. I didn't write it down.
Yeah,
So
you're
hopefully we've provided you with a lot of
Kind
content.
of amazed. I want to read more about this.
Reading about Merkel's boner, are
Yeah,
you?
that's amazing. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Audience of One. Andrew, it was such a great time to see you. We're in October. Don't forget, you can always submit crazy articles to us at audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. That's audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. Visit the show page at irlonestar.com/AOO for all the information on the show, where to follow us, where to subscribe. We're here every Friday at 10 a.m. We'll see you next week with an all-new show.
All new, baby.